Hey, gals and guys. This is Christopher, and I am an alcoholic. And today's topic, I decided to talk about my experience and what you may expect going to inpatient. I think I misspoke yesterday. First, I said that I was sober August 1st. It's September 1st that I've been sober since. But I went in and corrected it in an edit. And then I also said that I was in inpatient for 4 to 6 months, and that was incorrect. I was outpatient for 4 to 6 months. I noticed those two things when I was rewatching. It's not that big a deal. I just wanted you to be aware if you happen to watch yesterday's. So I'm just freshly out of inpatient. I'm freshly out of inpatient. I'm actually supposed to still be there, and I'll explain why. Um, Inpatient is not, you're not bound by that. It's a voluntary thing. I just chose not to be there any longer, and I'll explain why and what to expect, what I expected, or what I experienced, and give you an idea. Keeping in mind that each place is different. I mean, it's all like all walks of life where I went. It didn't really matter who you were. I was watching an interview with Elizabeth Vargas. She's a anchor. It was a 2020 interview, and she went to like a Club Medish kind of place. I mean, she has money, so it's kind of different place. She gets to keep her phone, and totally different from the Stars. The Stars rehab, and I'm not diminishing her addiction at all. It was a very good interview. I would recommend it if you look up Elizabeth Vargas, a 2020 interview. It's a great interview. Um, doesn't alcoholism, drug addiction, as we know, doesn't have anything to do with money. Um, we all walks of life do it. So let's get to inpatient. So I talked about detox yesterday and my experiences through detox. So it was actually from detox that I went to inpatient, and it was suggested to me by the lady who worked there. As far as my next step is to go to inpatient, because I have been outpatient before, which I graduated from outpatient after 4 to 6 months, and then I was sober for 2.5 years, and then obviously I'm off the wagon. And late August, drank like a mother pucker, and called 911 and got into detox for, I was there 4 or 5 days, 4 days, I think. And then she suggested I go to inpatient, and then she had a car pick me up. So a medical vehicle picked me up and drove me from the detox place to the local hospital, which also has a separate building for substance abuse. And that's where I did my in outpatient before, and they have an inpatient place. So just as before, they take your clothes except the ones that you're wearing, and they wash them again. So I'm assuming again, once again, it's due to like maybe bed bugs or something to that effect. Not necessarily that they think you're smuggling in drugs somewhere. I don't think that has anything to do with it. And then you go in to see a bunch of people. I think I saw like 3 or 4 people, talk to them, go in and sign things. And I never saw my counselor the whole time I was there. So I went in on a Friday. I went into my room and I just laid there. At that point, I wasn't really 100% sure what to do. Oh, everyone, when you sat there and you're waiting for your room, they had to clean it. Everyone came up and said, hello, welcome. All the patients, the inpatients that were there, all said welcome, introduced themselves. I'm like, I'm not gonna remember all these names, and I still don't. I remember a few. So they were very kind in that everyone was kind. The staff was kind. The inpatient patients were kind. Again, it was two separate areas for the females and the males. One of the males tried to sniff over the females. I'll get that story real quick. It's not much of a thing. So I waited for my room, and once it was clean, I went in. There was 2 beds in there, and I was the only one in there at that point. And then I looked around. I found this book, which I actually think I'm going to make 2 separate videos for at least the first 2 chapters. This is the Anonymous Press mini edition of Alcoholics Anonymous. Um, the first 2, 3 chapters are very poignant, very important. Poignant. I'm trying to think of the word poignant. Um, Very relevant. I wouldn't say the whole book, but I'd like to read at least 1 or 2 chapters and do a video on one or 2 chapters, 1 or 2 videos. So I found this book in the desk drawer, and I started reading it, and it's like, holy shit, this is me. This is probably everyone with alcoholism or substance abuse. So I'll get to that in a separate video. So I read that a long time, and they brought in my clothes, and I put them away. And then I'm trying to think. I did get a roommate, so I'm trying to think in the meantime when that came into play. Around about that time, I guess. Good kid, very good kid. Kind of messy, and I'll get to that. They took his clothes and washed them too. Um, Let me get to him first, I guess. Get him out of the way. So I did have a roommate. He came in on Friday as well. Good kid. I talked to him for a bit in the room, and then I would, talk to him a little bit out outside with everybody else in the rec rooms and the waiting rooms and all that. Kid didn't shower from the time I was there on Friday to the time I left on Monday. And I'll explain why I left on Monday. He didn't shower the whole time, and it got pretty rank in there. It's not the reason I left. It's a good reason. It's a very good reason. I actually mentioned it to a counselor before I left, saying maybe you want to talk to him. I said that before. They said to, so I was waiting in my room to leave on Monday, and he came in and he actually said, "Oh, I'm sorry. It really smells in here. I got to get something to clean this up." So he realized that. So he slept a lot. We get drugs, you get medication, so that makes you tired. I tried not to take naps because then you don't sleep at night. So he slept a lot, and I got a feel of his background and his family, who seems like pieces of shit or didn't support him, at least to the stories that he told me. I mean, this is my assessment. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a counselor or anything. I just think he kind of gave up a little bit on himself because I have depression. I have anxiety. I feel like I'm a piece of shit sometimes. I have bad talk in my head. You're worthless. You're useless. We've all had it, or we wouldn't have substance abuse, as far as I'm concerned. At least most of us do. So really bad self-talk I have, and I'm assuming he had really bad self-talk due to his family issues, and just didn't give a fuck. I don't think. He slept a lot. Probably he's probably a depressant too. I mean, I think everyone who drinks alcohol and are on drugs, it fucks up your head, and it gets you into a more anxious state and a more depressive state than you have been. So you're trying to cover up your depression and your anxiety, and you go take something that increases your depression and anxiety. It makes no fucking sense. It's like a band-aid, right? So, anyways, while I was waiting to leave, I did talk to him, and I did say, "Dude, you're not a piece of shit. You're a great guy. I talked to you, and you should take care of yourself. Fuck your family. You take care of you, because that's what you need to do. You need to take a shower. You need to brush your teeth. You know." And I basically said that. He said, "Yeah, yeah, I know." So we talked a bit. So I wanted to get him out of the way. The showers there that we're talking about, it was like a closet. I took a couple. I'm 6'4", and this thing was like a closet. It was like bathing in a closet. So it was a very small shower. So they had different days. They had a list of things you would do. So in the morning, you would have your blood pressure taken, your vitals taken, you would have your medication taken, you would go to breakfast, and then you would. There was a gym, and people would play pickleball. I didn't play pickleball. They had a Wii there. I played. I played the Wii. People would walk around the gym, and there was weights there and stuff like that. I'm a nerd. I'm a computer nerd. I'm not. I'm not an athlete. And they played really good. I watched them play pickleball and played the Wii, and just spent the time doing that. There's a couple guys that were sitting there a couple times. I played like bowling with them, or there was Mario, played on the Wii with them. So that passed that time, and then you would have different seminars. I can't think of the better word than that, where you would go, and one was a Narcan training. Hang on a sec. So one was Narcan training. This is actually, they give this to you when you leave. I have a couple in my car due to fentanyl and the way drugs are being distributed and stuff that's in them today. It's crazy. Obviously we have a big epidemic going on here, more so than before. I don't understand why dealers want to kill their clients, but they're doing it. I guess there's plenty of people out there that want to buy their product, so maybe they're not concerned about putting bad shit in their product. I'm an alcoholic. I've never done that stuff. So there was Narcan training. I've had it a couple times before, and you get the Narcan. We did like a music thing. Pick a song and an artist, and write it on a piece of paper, and everyone put it in like a bag, and then she pull it out and play it on YouTube, and then you're supposed to figure out which person picked that song. Just kind of get a feel for them, kind of get an idea of their personality, and just camaraderie, right? Oh, excuse me. I'm trying to think. There was AA. There was AA night. So someone came in who was in AA and told his story. So stuff like that. I'm trying to, there was like a meditation. So they played music and you sat there with your eyes closed, and it was saying, you know, you're feeling your your soul is leaving your body. You feel the wind, you feel the tree, you know, shit like that. So that was okay. It was relaxing, I suppose. At night was movies, so they had a list of movies that you could pick, and they had DVDs. So if you wrote down the movie, they would pull the DVDs and come and give them to you. That's supposed to start at 7 o'clock p.m., but we were able to get the TV way before that. If there was downtime, there would be a movie in. So there was lunch, there was dinner, there was snack. I'm trying to think if there was snack. So there was all that, and then your meds at the end of the day again. And yeah, in the morning there was a half an hour clean time, so that's when you go and take your shower, brush your teeth, and all that good stuff. And so there was a gentleman there who used to be a counselor. He spent a lot of time in the library, spent a lot of time reading. He was an older gentleman. I found that curious. You know, like a lot of psychologists, people like that have issues, and that's why they become, you know, therapists and psychologists and drug counselors, because they've had similar issues, so they understand it. So he seemed to be the same way, and everyone else was fine. There was a lockdown for the girls one night, so there was something going on with the girls, and they locked us down. We never had an issue. No one had an issue with anybody. We all got along fine. So I'm not sure what happened there. There was a kid that I mentioned. There was a guy, a young guy. I played Mario with him one day. So the girls are across the hall. So he's going over there sniffing. There's a young girl sitting there, and we're not supposed to go over there. But there is like a place where you can put your towels and your laundry. So he kind of, you know, he kind of went on halfway, and I don't know what they were saying. They were saying something to each other, and then he'd come back, and then he'd go back over, sniff a little. I don't think she was too interested in him, to the mannerisms that she was showing, but I have no idea. Young love, isn't it wonderful? And so there was two areas. There was a library, and then kind of like a rec room. So it would switch over each day, and they had the laundry in the rec room. So you would switch over each day. So you could do laundry every other day. You'd have to sign up for it, sign up for time. Library had some books. I asked actually the counselor guy who was there for inpatient if he had any recommendations, and he gave me a book, and I never read it. I spent most of my time reading that when I did read. So it was okay. You're not there against your will. You're there voluntarily. It was suggested to me to go there, and I thought at the time it was a good idea. So I am fighting my anxiety the whole time, and it wasn't doing me any good. It was getting worse. I don't have a job. I've been looking for a job, so that's time me away from looking for a job, because I do want to get one. And I'm an IT guy, and I want to get back to that. I have my YouTube channels, and all I thought about is, you know, I should be home doing YouTube. You know, I got other channels that has nothing to do with substance abuse or anything. I had a girlfriend. Had a girlfriend. Thought about her the whole time. You know, thinking maybe I'd see her again, or at least talk to her. And I haven't seen her since. We've chatted. We both miss each other, but she's got kids. She's got 2 kids, and I'm an alcoholic. So, you know, do the math there. If I'm better, if I'm employed, if I'm doing better emotionally, perhaps maybe down the road, but I'm not gambling on the fact that we'll get back together. And I'm also not, oh, please take me back. I miss her very much. I love her very much. And I don't know. So I had to talk to a counselor, and it was Labor Day, and luckily people were working regular, because it's 24/7 operation. Uh, Alcoholics and drug users don't go home for the holiday. So I talked to a counselor, and I said, I got to go. I got too much anxiety. This is making things worse, and it was. I had more anxiety there than I had at Detox. I had to get home. I had to get home. So she said, okay, you're not held here against your will. So I signed a bunch of papers, and I think I went into her office about 8 o'clock, 8:30. She said, you can be out of here by 9:30, and I'm going, really? Yep. If you call somebody, you can be out of here by 9:30. So I go, okay. I went in my room. They called me out for something else. I forget. I must have saw another counselor or something. Then I waited in my room, waited. It was 10 o'clock, and I was going, I got to go see what's going on. No one's come and gotten me. It's past 9:30. So they kind of forgot about me. I guess I was supposed to come out and say I was ready, and I didn't. So no big deal. So I got all my clothes, put it in the tote. Security came up, brought me to the gym. That's where they have like your suitcases or your bags. In my case, I had two Wegmans bags. Wegmans is a local grocery store, so I had two Wegmans bags. I put my clothes in and put all my items in. I got my phone back, which you don't have at Inpatient, just like Detox. They take your phone. So I got my phone back, my wallet back, stuff like that. And he walked me out the front door. And that was it. I went to Dunkin' Donuts, which was only, I don't know, maybe a quarter of a mile, maybe not even that far. And I had my mother pick me up there, and I came home. All right, gals and guys, I just wanted to kind of run you through my experience in inpatient. If you're thinking about inpatient, want to go to inpatient, I don't think it's a bad thing to do. It's a month mostly for most people. It's not beyond that, I don't believe. It's not terrible. There's always something to do. If you're uh, an extrovert, if you like being with people, which I don't mind. I mean, I'm just introverted. I don't have a lot in common with people, I don't think. So it's harder for me. But if you like pickleball, I'm not saying you're going to play pickleball at your inpatient facility, but it's not terrible. So if that's something you need, if you need structure, if you need a structured month to get away from shit, drugs, alcohol, maybe your problems, people, it's a good route to take. It just wasn't my route. It wasn't my journey, and I'm not saying it's not for you. So don't take just because I spent 4 days there. Don't don't feed that into your decision process, because tons of people will tell you it was great. 30 days was great. All right, gals and guys, tomorrow I'm going to talk about outpatient and make comparisons and tell you what to expect with outpatient if you haven't done that. And I got a lot of other things, a lot of other topics planned. So we'll see how it goes. I've been doing one a day. We'll see if that continues, and see if I can build up the channel and get more eyes on it. Hopefully help some people out there, maybe that need some encouragement or some advice, or just want to know what to expect moving forward if they continue. Or maybe you're in the hole. I've been in the hole myself, but I've gotten myself out of the hole a couple times. So can you. All right, gals and guys, I've talked enough. I don't try to make these longer than 20 minutes. So I will talk to you later, okay? Take care. Oh, by the way, please subscribe, like, share, hit the bell. Share with someone that's having a problem. Hopefully it will help them. Okay? All right. I'm really leaving this time. Bye-bye.